Hello, welcome back to Steve's Corner. Let's get political. First off, I want to apologize to any Olivia Newton-John fans for butchering her song title like I did. That's the first thing I thought about. But y'all have heard President Carter is not doing too well. He's in hospice care right now. He's had a bad run of health past, well, I guess since 15, I think. He's had a bad run of health. He's, heck, man, I think he's like 98 years old, you know. And that makes his wife, I think his wife, I read the other night, I think she's 95 or 96. That's a long time to live, buddy. That's a long time. I don't know if I've had anybody in my whole family on either side make it to 90. I don't think so. I got an aunt that's 88 now up in Pennsylvania. She's she's about the longest living one I know in my whole family. They come from a good set of genes, Doc. And that's the thing about Carter. You know, he's gone down in history as one of the worst presidents we've had in modern times, post World War II or something like that's what they say. And he had a rough time as president. I don't consider him as a good president. I don't. But he had a lot of stuff going on too. I mean, he had energy crisis. He had Iran hostages. He had uh, what that energy crisis where that speech he gave on TV where he told everybody to put a sweater on and cut your thermostat down. He caught a lot of flack for that. That upset a lot of people. But I, I think his only problem was that he was too good of a fella. The presidency is not made for good people. You know, I think he honestly tried to do what he thought was best for the people of the United States, for the average working people. But the machine up there in D.C. just wouldn't allow it. And when he got beat like he did from old Reagan, when he got beat so bad like that, I believe that's when the Democratic Party said, "Hey, we ain't gonna have nobody like that else up to come up here. Nobody that won't toe the party line and come up here. We're not gonna allow him to be up there." And that's why they ain't had a decent president since. They just haven't. I mean, Clinton was probably the best out of the next three. He did a lot of good. But everybody knows he was only up there for three things. He was up there for the power, he was up there for the money, and he was up there for the women. That was his main reason for wanting to be president. He didn't have not had no desire to help the regular working man. He didn't. Now he passed some good decent laws and regulations up there for it, but his hands were tied. He was forced into it. It wasn't that he wanted to. Other than that, he had no reason to be up there. He had no desire to build this country up and make it better than it was. And Obama was just a train wreck. He done more to divide this country than any president in my lifetime. I mean, he was just awful from day one. He his goal while he was up there in office was to destroy this country, and he done a pretty daggone good job of it too. He set it on a path that we still haven't recovered from. And old Uncle Joe, he's just not there. You really can't blame him. It's whoever's pushing his buttons you have to blame for what he's done. You know, but that's what happened. The, Back when Reagan had that big landslide, they said, "Hey man, we can't have nobody up here that won't toe the party line," and that's what they pushed. If you've watched them over the past years, that's what they pushed. I mean, you look at how Bernie Sanders got taken advantage of the past two elections. You know, I believe he honestly tried to had ideas that he thought would help the American people. I really do, the regular working people. I didn't care for his ideas. I don't think the way he was going to go around about it. But they shafted him. They shafted him straight up, and he took it because he's a party member, you know. And that was the problem with Carter. He was too good of a fellow to hold that job. He just is. You you need a butthole up there. That job calls for it's a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of major decisions you got to make. And you need a guy that's not afraid to be a butthole about stuff. That's going to make that hard decision and go ahead and take the fallout no matter what it is. And Carter was too good of a guy for that. And to be honest with you, I think the first Bush was too. I think he was an awful good fellow. I think he was a heck of a good fellow. I think he honestly tried to do what he thought was best for the country and for the individual working person. I really do. And that's why he got stomped like he did. They can't have somebody up in there. Republican or Democrat, don't make no daggone difference. And that's what ticked him off about old Trump. He wasn't willing to toe the line, so they got rid of him. Simple as that. You know. But you need somebody up there like that. It's a big role, and it's just too big for the majority of people that have been up there since I've been alive. I just want to wish President Carter's family all the hope and best wishes I can going through this tough time. It's got to be a tough time to have a patriarch of the family around that long, and somebody that's such a good human being. I believe it's got to be a rough time on them. And I hope they all come through it pretty well, especially his wife. I mean, they've been married something like 70 years or something like that. I mean, that's just amazing. But they're good people, irrespective of his presidency, of the job he done as president. I believe they're real good people. I really do. Well, that's about it. It's turned off cold, wet, and rainy here, so I had to come back into the dungeon. It was a pretty week. I wanted to get outside, but I just couldn't today. Well, I could, but it's just too nasty. And it's supposed to turn off back to winter here the next 2 weeks, I believe. I ain't looking forward to it, but I know it can't last too long. Well, y'all be good, and we'll talk with y'all later. Enjoy your weekend.